Welcome to Deep Waves Transformation, where we dive deep into the realms of mental health, trauma recovery, narcissistic abuse recovery, toxic love relationships, and more. I am your host, Tasha Day, and I'm here to guide you through this journey of awareness and healing. Today we have with us Brenda Flores, owner of Two Moon Studio. She is a certified spinal energetics practitioner based out of the DC metropolitan area. Thank you so much, Brenda, for being here. How are you?
Thank you, Tasha. I'm great. Thank you so much for having me on.
Of course. I'm super excited to talk about what it is that you do specifically in target trauma and how it affects the body, and just get some knowledge from you as much as I can.
I'm excited. I'm excited to dive in.
Awesome. Let's do it then. So my first question would be, if you want to, could you share a personal mental health journey of your own with
Yeah,
the
so
listeners?
absolutely, it'd be my pleasure. So for me, my story starts from high school. I was in high school. I had really low self-esteem, very bad, like zero self-worth. I experienced sexual assault during high school that led me down a very dark path of depression, bulimia, suicide attempt. Um, that experience manifested in my adulthood as chronic pain. My body was literally in a state of fight or flight so badly that I had so many migraines, so much head pressure, psychogenic seizures. I had multiple spinal taps, saw multiple specialists, went through 3 different neurologists. Like, no one could tell me what was going on. And at the time, I didn't think it was related at all to the trauma I experienced when I was younger.
Sure. Yeah.
I just thought that something was wrong with me.
Yeah, but you just didn't know what. Yeah.
Exactly. And I was looking for answers in Western medicine. I was really looking. I was desperate for relief. I was desperate. I was a mom. I was a wife. I worked full time. Owned a business and a family business. So I just thought I was extremely stressed out at first. And then it became so bad that I was like, something's wrong with me. I'm going to, die or something.
Yeah. Your panic disorder sets in and it tells you you're going to die. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. And then there was no answers, I was on heavy pharmaceuticals for lots of the different symptoms that I was experiencing, but nothing that really gave me relief for an extended period of time. And it got to a point where I was a shred of myself and I didn't recognize myself. I couldn't function as a parent. I couldn't function as a wife or business owner or even do work. And it was very debilitating.
Right.
I ended up finding a naturopathic doctor in a different country. I was so desperate. I was like, I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to this doctor.
You're going to get answers.
I was like, we'll do anything at this point. I did, right before that, I did start going to like acupuncture and I was getting a little bit of relief, but it wasn't enough. So I did go to another country, went to El Salvador to see a naturopathic doctor there.
Oh, nice.
I was there for a week, and within 3 days, this doctor had almost all of my symptoms had subsided. So at that point, I had lost hearing in my left ear. I had lost peripheral vision. And they kept saying that nothing was related to each other. And I was like, how can that be? It's literally all here.
Yeah.
But essentially this doctor, he was a regular doctor. He was a neurologist for many years. He started doing more holistic practices, and then he started becoming more of a naturopathic doctor with obviously his background in neuroscience and neurology. So he really understood what was happening to me a lot more, and he was able to verbalize and tell me things that I was experiencing was really my body had create. I was in a state of fight or flight that I could not get out of. It was a chronic.
Yeah, you were stuck in freeze mobilization.
Exactly. I was definitely. I had locked away a lot of memories that were stored within my physical body of trauma that I had experienced, and that those locks had created tension-bound patterns. So all the tension was squeezing my muscles, squeezing my nerves, causing the ear issue, the sight issue. I had pain in my gums and my jaw. Everything was just like compressed from all
Right.
of the tension.
Yeah.
So that's what led me down the holistic healing space, because I started to learn ways to regulate my nervous system. So I was able to get out of that. 3 months later, I was able to completely have no symptoms at all.
Wow.
And so for me, I knew how important it was to continue to work on my nervous system, continue to, dig deeper into why this started, when it started. And that led me down my healing path to really healing the childhood trauma, the teenage trauma that I had experienced in high school.
Wow. That is incredible. And I'm so sorry that you had to go through all of that trauma, but at the end, you found that guy and he sounds like a true blessing to have in your life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm grateful to him forever.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what advice would you give to someone who feels stuck in their trauma recovery?
One big thing for me, and I know for a lot of my clients it's too, it's the pressure we put on ourselves to we need to see the results. We need to feel better. We need to be better right now.
Right now,
Uh,
yeah.
that added pressure does not help our nervous system. It does not help our body.
Yeah, this is not a 5-minute abs workout. Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, it takes time. Yeah, so what I will say is, there are a lot of practices out there, specifically holistic practices and modalities that do help you in an accelerated time frame, right? So we're not talking, in one session you're going to be completely better. Because it does take a lot of self-awareness and integration period for any type of modality that you're doing or any type of work that you're doing.
oh yeah,
But I would say to show yourself some grace and know that, it took this long for this trauma for you to experience trauma, and for you to also stuff it deep down in
oh
places
yeah,
that you didn't want to revisit and you never thought you would revisit. But unfortunately, our body really keeps the score. And that's a big theme a lot of people have been talking
well, that's
about.
a great book, by the
It's
way.
an amazing book. And
Yeah,
through this book, a lot of wisdom has come to a lot of people. It's something that I didn't realize either, was our body really stores these memories. And although we might say in our mind, "Oh, I'm good. That was a long
I'm
time
great.
ago.
Yeah,
That I let that go. I don't resent that person." All these things, our body still remembers the experience and the feeling it felt when it was experiencing that trauma.
absolutely.
It takes time. Give
Especially when
yourself grace.
it comes to the whole sexual abuse
Yeah.
issue, because I've been through it too. So what goes on in our minds at the time of the incident is, oh my God, when is this going to be done? Can this be over? Please be over. Please be over. And so, like, we're just literally laying there like a limp noodle praying for this to be over.
Yeah.
And so, if we're laying there as a limp, stiff noodle, like, you can see how that does get stored into your body. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And so my biggest advice is, one, a lot of times we don't have the tools in our toolbox to help ourselves. So seeking outside resources is important. Doing research and feeling that you can trust the person, the modality, is important. But knowing that if you feel stuck, also show yourself some grace, because we've all been there, and we've even after hours and years of healing, we still
Yeah.
have to show ourselves grace, because at the end of the day, we are only human, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So, how would you handle setbacks or relapses in trauma recovery journeys?
So absolutely. I think that you don't know what you still need to heal, or what aspect of your life you still need to dig a little deeper into until that opportunity presents itself. And I say opportunity because anything that mirrors
Meaning,
us or shows us, yeah, that shows us that we need to continue to work in this area is a gift and it's opportunity, right? So um during setbacks, I have them, we all have them. Um taking the time to go inward and be like, okay, this is triggering me for a reason. Why is that? Because our
Yeah.
triggers are really our own. They're not anybody else's.
Right.
And we have a responsibility to ourselves to look inwards and say, okay, why is this coming up right now? What's my body telling me? Where am I feeling it in my body? What can I do to help myself move through this hiccup or this setback, as you might say?
Yeah, absolutely. That's really good advice. I like that. Do you have any coping mechanisms that you found most effective?
Yeah, so the word coping mechanism for me means two things. One, when I was in the thick of it, right, in the real trenches of going through the memories coming back and just the feeling of it and working through all the trauma, my coping mechanism was really just meditating. And that was
Medic
the hardest thing for me because I have ADHD. So meditating.
for a minute? Yeah. And really just tap in for 5 minutes. It's difficult. I get it.
Yeah. But what because I stayed out a lot because of
Yes.
my
Yep.
ADHD, I found a way to harness those moments of spacing out into something that I felt was more felt better in my body. Right. So
Mhm.
when I would say I'm going to go meditate, would try, but I'd show myself grace because most of the time I was really spacing.
Sure.
So it was more so a mindset shift, and for me, where those moments of spacing out, I started thinking of the moments that I was looking. So that was a big thing for me, where I would just, okay, I wasn't spacing out because I used to be very hard on myself for those things. I
Yeah.
wasn't spacing out. I was looking within. I was looking within. I was taking some time for
I
myself.
like the perspective. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of the things. And now, as I've worked a little bit deeper with myself and my healing journey, um, coping to me is it's more so I don't do coping mechanism. I don't like to say it that way. It's more so, okay, what is my body telling me that I need?
Yeah.
Is it rest? Is it more water? Is it me
Sure.
time? Is it just fun? Because sometimes you just need to go
Yeah.
out and
Like
have
a
fun.
vacation. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of extremes out here, right? There's an extreme of like, oh, I'm on my healing journey. I can't do this, this, and this, and that. And then there's I'm gonna do only healing stuff. And
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
me, I need a little bit of balance. So I like going to see live music. I like going out with my friends and my partner. And it's knowing that I'm still, yes, I'm a spiritual being in a human experience, and I still have to experience human fun.
Yeah, absolutely. How's like the nature? Because I'm over here in Utah, Salt Lake City, and we're surrounded like by mountains and gorgeousness, and like it's amazing. So like,
Love
how's it
that.
over there as far as getting out into nature and becoming grounded with the earth?
Yeah. So it's all about perspective, right? Being close to a big city, like I'm 35 minutes, 40 minutes from Washington, D.C. Um,
Okay,
but not too far from us are lots of trails. We have the Shenandoah Valley close by. We have going up into Maryland, we have the Appalachian Trails up there. So there's lots of opportunity. But when
very
it
cool.
comes to grounding, honestly, just going outside and feeling the sun on your skin, it's huge.
Yeah,
Finding a little patch of grass, go out there, put your feet in it, touch a
yeah,
tree, just do things that feel like they're different from your day to day, is what I like to say. Get
yeah,
off the hamster wheel, go do something different that fills you in a different way than what you do normally do.
yeah. I mean, I've had people tell me in the past, like, because I love walking in nature and just kind of anywhere without my shoes on, and people will be like, don't your feet hurt? Like you're walking on rocks. You're walking on." I'm like, no. Like my feet have become so used to all of this because it's grounding. It's a grounding technique for me and it keeps me in my safe space.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And it's not for everyone. There's a lot of people that don't like it. So finding other ways that work for you is great. Like you don't have to put your feet down. I get that. But maybe even just touching with your palm, that's
Mhm.
great. Sitting down, having you're sitting on the ground, you have your clothes on, you're not naked.
Right.
But you're
Yep.
still connecting. It's all about the intention behind what you're doing. So if your intention is, I'm going to go on this short walk down the street, 5 minutes, because I want to ground, and that's your intention, then that's what's going to be.
Sure. So during your practice of spinal energetics, what would you say are some of the long-term effects of
Yeah.
trauma that people might not be aware of as far as the spinal energetic field that you're in?
Yeah. Yeah. So, um, trauma presents itself in many different ways. A lot of people experience, like I had sort of like chronic pain, chronic undiagnosed illnesses like fibromyalgia, things like that. A lot of autoimmune disease. And when we're talking just even more simple, we're talking about back pain, neck pain, lower back pain, hip and pelvic pain, nerve like tingling in your arms and your legs. Those are
Yeah.
all signs that your nervous system and your body is experiencing something. And it's difficult because a lot of times, and I used to say this too, is oh, I've always had that. My neck
Yeah.
always hurts. My shoulders are
No.
always tight.
Yeah.
And we say it. Exactly. But we
Yeah.
say it like it's so nonchalant, like it's just, it's always been there. It's okay. But we're just accustomed to it. So
Mhm.
it feels comfortable. Why we slouch like this? And it feels comfortable and it feels uncomfortable to raise our back and our shoulders back a little bit because we're not used to it, because we're used to doing the other. Um, so it can present in that way. It can present in gut issues. A lot of my clients have gut issues, heavy menstrual cycles, no menstrual cycles. We're working a lot with sacral area, and even things that I thought were part of just my personality, like chronic overthinking and feeling like I needed to help and fix and do all the time is
Yeah.
really also a way that that trauma presents itself. So during spinal energetics, what we're doing is we do an assessment. And through that assessment, your body will tell us where it's experiencing tension. So we look at leg length, we look at tension in the Achilles heel, we look at how your spine is laying on the table, and the tension will present. So, for example, someone who has maybe tension on the right side of their body and is always in their head, chronic overthinker, has a lot of brain fog, headaches, the leg on that side will be shorter. There'll be more tension in the Achilles heel. And why? Because the muscles are compressing and pulling the leg up. So
Wow.
it really is very much an anatomy based, science based. But what we do that's different than chiropractors is that we find the physical fixation and then we don't address just the physical fixation. We bring awareness to that area and allow the body to unwind naturally versus physical manipulation like a chiropractor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's beautiful. I like it. Yeah. So really a lot of touching and pressing and twisting and turning and
So there's definitely
a little
touching.
bit just like love.
It's definitely more light touch. We're looking down at we're feeling for our physical fixation. Once we identify the physical fixation, then we work on the physical body, but also we go through the energetic layers because wherever there's a physical symptom, there usually is a metaphysical symptom.
Sure.
So that's what we're doing. We're bringing the awareness to the physical part of the body that's experiencing the tension. And where we go a little deeper with bringing awareness and trying to figure out where that root cause is.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I love that. So what is one piece of advice that you would share with others that are going through trauma healing work? Like, what would you tell yourself
Mm.
so many years ago when you were starting?
I would say to myself, I'm proud of you, which is a hard thing for a lot of people to hear or to even feel. I would say, keep going because it gets pretty dark a lot of times. It can get very dark. You can get very lonely. Just know that um, the only way out is through. That's something
Yeah.
I say a lot to my clients. Is the only way out is through. It's through experiencing it. It's through moving. It's through not giving up. It's through getting to the other side of it.
Yeah, I love that. What are some resources or tools that you could share with the audience that have helped you and your clients? And then we'll wrap it up from
Yeah.
there.
To me, I think the biggest thing is mind-body connection. We become very disconnected from our body. We disassociate from our body, especially people who've experienced physical things, physical traumas that have really they've had to really get out of their body during it to even make it through.
Right.
So something we work on a lot is mind-body connections. Spinal energetics is about that. It's bringing you back to connect with your body, to trusting yourself again, to trusting your body and feeling like you can tap into the innate wisdom that you have to heal. So breathing is a huge thing. People don't realize how they breathe. We breathe very shallow most of the time, almost all the time.
Yeah.
So intentional breathing is a huge thing and helped me a lot. And it's what helps a lot of my clients. So throughout the day, putting a reminder of just taking maybe 3 really deep breaths. And if you can vocalize the exhale, oh, that's like double bonus right there.
And
So
we're not
really
breathing from our shoulders, right? We're breathing from our gut.
expanding. Yeah, expanding. So really taking a deep breath in, visualizing and expanding in your chest and your heart space, going down into your gut, expanding around your belly button, and
Open up
then
that
really
yes.
yeah, yes. Really taking it all in, right? So you're doing this intentionally, right? Even if you're at work, you just take a few deep breaths. You were just intentionally doing it and then releasing it and feeling. And the intention is I'm letting go of anything that's not serving me, just
Exactly.
letting it go.
Exactly.
Yeah. And if people can verbalize that exhale and do like a little bit deeper, it's
Yeah.
even better. You're really connecting and stimulating your throat and your voice. So that's one of the biggest things I would say
Well,
is
the thing too, huh, is finding your voice again, right?
absolutely. That's huge, huge for a lot of people who have never really expressed their authentic self, avoid conflict, so they never speak up for themselves, don't advocate for themselves.
Right? Because their life has been dictated for them for so long,
Yeah,
whether it's through their parents or through certain relationships that they've had. It's been dictated. You need to do this. You need to be this, or
yeah,
I'm not going to love you. And so we literally settle for them. And so
exactly.
out of it, it's like, oh my gosh, I can actually take the duct tape off and be my authentic self. This is so amazing.
Yes, it is so freeing
Yeah.
for
First, it's
people.
weird because you think you're doing something wrong because we've been
Oh,
taught. Yeah. Yeah.
it's getting out of that reoccurring, like that mental state that's told you for so long that it's not okay to do that.
Exactly. Yep. Okay. Well, Brenda, thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate your time and your knowledge, sharing it
Thank
with
you.
everybody.
Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. And thank you for what you're doing, giving people a platform to share their experiences and help others.
Absolutely. Just creating that safe space for all of us. I love
Yes,
that. That's the most
thank you.
important thing for me. Okay, well, that is all we have for you guys today. Remember, your journey to healing starts with understanding. Stay strong and stay informed. Every step towards awareness is a step towards freedom. Until next time, keep riding the waves of transformation with us. I am your host, Tasha. Have the most wonderful day. Thanks again, Brenda.
Thank you.
You can find Brenda at www.twomoonstudio.com, along with her business Instagram page at Two Moon Studio, as well as her personal Instagram page at The Brenda Scarlett.